Today I have a very special guest, and I'm honored to have Miss T here with me. Some of you who are my normal subscribers may have seen Miss T in the comments. She's very active and has a lot of fire. So Miss T had sent me something that actually shocked me. It shocked me because what she brought to my attention was something that was so bold that the Watchtower actually spelled it out. They're actually spelling out who they really are. So let me just get right into it. Miss T, could you explain exactly what it is that you found and how did you find it?
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone. Um, I have to give credit to a woman that watches Quinn's video. She left a comment about how the children's videos, Caleb and Sophia, it looks like they're copying Disney. And it caught my curiosity. So I went to jw.org, had a hard time because I've never used that site. And I'm skimming through the children's videos and I come across God Makes It Grow. So as I'm looking at that video, I notice on the wall, Sophia's wall, there's a poster.
Oh, wait, let me stop you there. Let's before you tell us what the poster is,
Mhm.
we'll play the video for that.
Sophia! Zoe and Camille should be here soon. Are you ready? Oh, is everything okay?
No. I really want Zoe's mom to study the Bible. But what if I mess up? Or what if she asks questions I can't even answer? What am I gonna do?
Sometimes I get nervous too.
So what was it that you said that you found?
So the video to the right of the mother is Machu Picchu. And as I'm looking through it, and that struck me just as, what in the world is that doing up on a little girl's wall? Machu Picchu is a place that 500 years ago they sacrificed children there, specifically little girls. And I just thought, whoa, I cannot believe this. So I researched Machu Picchu, found out some information, and I suggest that you all do it yourself because I can't really relate everything that I found. But this place does get thousands and thousands of visitors a year. I don't think these visitors are aware of what they're visiting and what occurred there 500 years ago. And I can't understand how the Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower would show this in a children's video. It's like, it's horrible. It's horrible. It just shocked the heck out of me. So I sent the email to Quinn, and here we are exposing yet another horrible thing that the Jehovah's Witnesses are doing, thinking that nobody's going to catch on. And most people wouldn't, they wouldn't. I don't know, maybe it was sent from God that I saw it. I mean, I don't know, but like I said, it's a horrible, horrible place.
And what do you notice, Miss T, about the other pictures? Like,
Well, I see a lot of butterflies, and the girl that commented about Disney mentioned that also. And maybe at another time, Quinn, we could do another video, or you can do a video. Um, Butterflies are used a lot in MK Ultra, where they take over a person's mind and make them slaves, sometimes sexual slaves, just slaves in general to do their bidding. And I don't know, I'm going to continue looking at these videos. um, you had mentioned before, Quinn, that there's possibly something in all of them, you know and I'm going to continue looking because I don't think it's right, especially for children. It kind of shocked me that JWs were even doing this sort of thing, and it's a whole new thing, and I don't approve of it. To tell you the truth, I do not approve of it.
and do you want to tell us too, what is that picture behind Sophia's mom?
Behind Sophia is the butterfly, the monarch butterfly. If you look up monarch butterflies, and MK Ultra, you'll find out more about how they use these to take over your mind, to mind control you.
Yeah, it is interesting that her wallpaper already has butterflies all over it, but then there's also a big picture of a butterfly too. So there's some emphasis on butterflies. That's
No,
for sure.
those are little flowers all over it, I think.
Yeah, but if you notice in between the flowers, you see there's butterflies in between.
Oh, you're right. I
Yeah.
didn't see that. See? Yeah, you got to really look deep. Yeah, I didn't see that. Duh.
So let me
Whoa.
just show some general information for the viewers about Machu Picchu. So you can look into deeper as far as what type of sacrifices they were doing, but it says right here in this first sentence that only priests and other high-ranking Incas were likely only permitted access into the Temple of the Sun. And it says one of the most sacred temples in Machu Picchu. So they had temples all over. And one of the main ones is Temple of the Sun. And anyone as a Jehovah's Witness knows that any worship to the sun or anything like that is considered demonic. So again, why would this be on Sophia's wall? Anything to do with sun worship? And then there's a section also on Machu Picchu in this article that talks about the sacrifice center. So it says the locality of the Temple of the Sun at Machu Picchu was strategic because the Incas thought that at least the highest point they were in the best location to reach the sky and perform rituals and ceremonies in honor of the gods. Now, anyone that's been a Jehovah's Witness knows that we were told anything that sounds like that is demonic. It's from Satan, worshiping false gods, ceremonies, rituals, and it even goes into like animal sacrifices. And I don't know if you already, yeah, I think you covered on this, Miss T, about like the children sacrifices. So, I mean, why would witnesses put this on Sophia's wall? It doesn't make any sense. And the fact that they spell it out, because some witnesses could try to make up any excuse they can, because that's what people that are brainwashed will do. They will not accept the truth. They'll come up with anything they can come up with to avoid the truth. But they're spelling it out. It's not just a picture of Machu Picchu. They made it a point to write it there so that you can't mistake that. Machu Picchu, there's no question about it. So why would they put that on her wall? Now, if you go back before they show the poster on the wall, you'll notice that there's two books on her desk. So are those just random two books? Well, if we zoom in on them, you can clearly see that they put in this Caleb and Sophia, like these cartoon graphics, the Gray Bible and the Enjoy Life Forever brochure. Now, if you notice the Enjoy Life Forever brochure, if you look at the desk, you can see the detail. So they put that much detail to make it clear, right? That's not an accident. It's not just a random book that happens to look like the Live Forever book. They specifically drew that in there. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that is because clearly that's not an accident. So just as they specifically made it a point to put the Bible on the desk, the Live Forever brochure, it is impossible that this is by mistake. So why did they specifically put this on her wall? A place where they did rituals and ceremonies and children sacrifices. And again, like children sacrifices, and it's in a children's bedroom. So what are these people doing?
Little girls, mainly, that's what they sacrificed.
And
And
that's a, I was just going to say that's a good point because it's not Caleb's room. So again, is that a coincidence?
exactly.
It's in her room.
And it is a beautiful place. I mean, as far as the geographics of it, the mountains, everything's beautiful. But there's a lot of beautiful places, a lot of beautiful posters with mountains. Why that one? Why that one? They
Exactly.
might use that as an excuse. Well, it's a beautiful place. Thousands of people go visit it every year. These visitors, I bet, do not even have a clue as to what happened up there. Maybe they do, maybe they don't care. Maybe they think it's cool. I don't know, but I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool. Killing children is not a good thing ever,
Yeah, and I want to show some other comparisons to make it clear that this is not a one-time thing with Watchtower. So there's a video on my page titled Egyptian God Planted in J.W. Paradise Book, and it's essentially the same thing. So on page 244 of the Paradise Book, there's a table in the background, and there's a picture, a painting of an Egyptian god. And when you zoom in on it, it is exactly a piece of Egyptian art of this god called Amun-Ra. So it's very specific. So it's just sitting in the background. And that's in a Live Forever in Paradise book. So you can see it's the same exact thing. So the witnesses are told that anything to do with false gods and worship of other gods and Egyptian gods, anything like that, they say it's demonic, it's pagan, and it's from Satan. So while they're preaching that, why is that just sitting on the table in the background of the Paradise book? And you can see it's the same exact thing with Caleb and Sophia. So why is this poster of Machu Picchu in the background of a place that's known for the sun temple, sun worship, and sacrificing to the gods? Why are they like it's almost speechless? And again, like this time they even spell it out for you. So nobody can deny this because they spell it out. And then if we look at the gap between these two different situations, so the Paradise book, as you can see at the bottom, it came out in 1982. And this Caleb and Sophia video says at the end of the video, 2024. So this is a 42-year-old gap. 42 years difference. And they've been doing the same exact thing. They're preaching all this stuff, false gods and all this stuff. It's all demonic, while they're putting it in your face subliminally in the background. And one thing that I want to mention while I'm on the subject is the rogue artist theory. So I'm going to address XJWs on this because I understand why Jehovah's Witnesses want to believe in a rogue artist theory, because Jehovah's Witnesses are brainwashed. So no matter what you show them, they're going to try to make up any excuse that they can. So they rather believe it's like a Pimo at Bethel that's doing all this stuff. But it does surprise me that there's XJWs that think the same thing. There's XJWs that think that all this is done by some Pimo in the art department. And the reason why I want to address this, because I don't think the XJWs that say that are comprehending what they're actually saying. So to blame Pimos for all this kind of stuff, Pimos are the most level-headed people in the entire organization. They're more level-headed than any of the elders, any of the circuit overseers, and definitely the governing body. Pimos are completely normal. They're the only ones in the organization that are normal, that are not brainwashed. So if you're an XJW, why would you blame this on Pimos? They're on our side. They're basically one of us. The only difference between us and a Pimo is a Pimo is basically an XJW that hasn't left the organization because they're in a situation where if they leave, they're going to lose their friends and family, and they're not ready to do that. So why would we blame them for the sick mind of governing body? Right? I mean, hasn't this organization already shown its true colors? So why would we ever think that this is done by Pimos? It's almost like we would be defending the governing body by doing that. And when you look at all the stuff that they do like this, it's not just in their books, it's in everything. It's in their music, it's in their JW movies, it's in their architecture, their buildings, the Denmark Assembly Hall. Right. It's the same thing. It's just it manifests in different ways. So to say that all that is done by Pimos, so I just want to just make that clear that we shouldn't blame Pimos for the sick mind of governing body. And if we're doing that, maybe we're really not even completely healed from this religion, that we would still give
how
them
it
the
can
benefit of
affect
the
the
doubt and
mind.
blame Pimos for it.
Yeah, Quinn, I was wondering if there's such a thing as a quality control, like in most companies, they inspect things before they go out, and who's looking this over? Is anybody saying, hey, that shouldn't be in there? Why did you put Machu Picchu? Why did you put the goat's head or whatever that head is? You know, in my opinion, I think it's not just one evil person there. This takes a group to put all this together. And they're overlooking it on purpose, evidently, you know?
Yeah, and it's been going on since the very beginning in 1800s. On the first Watchtower magazine, you had symbols all
Right,
over it. Um,
right.
but somebody made a comment on my channel recently, maybe about a 2 months ago, and I'll put it on the screen because I forget exactly what they said, but basically they made a comment and they quoted the Watchtower that basically says what you just said, how they do have a team of people who have to approve all these images and scrutinize them. And it even says that like a governing body member is like the last set of eyes that, it's approved by a governing body member. So yeah, they have, and it even says something like the article said something about you can have confidence that everything that you see that they have thoroughly gone through. Um, and I believe them. That's one of the few times they're telling the truth. Like, yeah, we can have confidence that everything this organization puts out, it's deliberate. They do have a team, and as you said, Miss T, it's being overlooked on purpose. There's no way that this has been going on. Even just these two examples on the screen, it's the same exact thing, and it's a 42-year-old gap, right? I mean, the same guy 42 years later, he's doing the same thing. And the Caleb and Sophia video is the same guy. I mean, come on. Um, but again, I just want to say, like, again, it's not Chemos. Chemos are level-headed. They're the most level-headed people in the organization. So if you're an XJW, you really shouldn't be blaming Chemos for the sick mind of governing body. I mean, I don't know how much more this religion has to do to make it clear that it's on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing.
It's too bad that PMOs even have to exist. I had to look it up. It stands for physically in, mentally out. And like you had said before, they don't they have to stay in because they'll lose their family. And that's just sad.
Yeah,
It's just really sad. They'll lose all connections with friends and just their whole life will be destroyed.
exactly.
It's really horrible.
So another video I want to mention is on my page, I got a video titled Watchtower Hypnosis Caught on Video 5, Caleb and Sophia. And in this video, there's a reference to, again, worshiping of the sun. So in this video titled Make Jehovah Happy, there's a part where they show the angels in heaven. And it's supposed to be an angel in heaven, but to me, it looks like hell. It looks like orange fire clouds and smoke is what it looks like. But this angels they're supposedly cheering Caleb on, but he's doing the sun worship pose. And it makes no sense. Like, why is this angel doing a sun worship pose? So that's another reference to worshiping of the sun. Now, if anybody wants to look on the left-hand side and believe it's just a coincidence that this angel with smoke clouds and fire with a sun worship pose, if you think that's a coincidence, well, if you look on the right side, it says Machu Picchu, and it's known for the Temple of the Sun. So you can't deny the right side. You could be blind to the left side if you want, but you can clearly see the angels doing the sun worship pose. But it's two situations of the same thing. Both are Caleb and Sophia videos, and both of them have to do with sun worship.
Right.
So I don't believe there's any coincidences with this stuff at all. So I don't know, Miss T, if you have any other final thoughts about this, but it's almost speechless because when they spell it out and put Machu Picchu, they could have just put the picture up there and it would still be just as bad. But it's like they put the name, so it's like you can't even deny it.
Right. Well, a lot of people I've seen in the comments in your videos, you're reaching. No, there's no reaching here. Yeah, like you said, the sun worship thing, you could be reaching, but I don't think that's reaching at all. But the Machu Picchu poster, that's not reaching. It's right there in our face, in our face. No reaching, people, no reaching. Suggest that they ask a brother, have you ever heard of Machu Picchu? And if they say no or yeah, maybe some of them have heard of it. And you could then go into why would this be in a JW publication? I think most of the Jehovah's Witnesses are afraid to confront, but they shouldn't be, but that's a part of brainwashing too. They've been brainwashing out of fear, I guess. They're afraid to question anything. I don't know. I'm not like that. And it's sad that some people have to live like that, to be afraid to ask questions. You know, it's really sad.
And that's a good point how you said it, because that's perfect. If they say they know what Machu Picchu is, then you can say, hey, why is this an Kilvin Sophia video? And if they
Right.
say, oh, what apostate website you were on, you can tell them jw.org, right?
Exactly.
That's the site it's on. Bring them right
Exactly.
to the website. They can't say nothing about that. And yeah, that's something that should be explained.
Right.
But clearly, like, this is not Watchtower's first time. Again, 42 years ago, they did the same thing in the Paradise book. And in between that 42-year-old gap, they've done this with everything. Everything in this organization is tainted. It's in their literature, it's in their books, it's in their movies, it's in their music, it's in the structures of their building.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. And then a big red flag to me was when they had the book recall and they asked all the witnesses, oh, all your old books, bring them to the Kingdom Hall to destroy them. And the
Oh,
witnesses just did it. And the thing too is I was a witness when that happened. And I was brainwashed too, because I thought it was kind of weird. Like, why are they taking our books back? Like, why did, like, but they requested everybody take all their old books and
why?
bring it back. They
What
get
was the
rid of
reason?
evidence. They get rid of evidence. They get rid of the Paradise book, the Revelation book, all those old books that have all this satanic stuff in it. Like, all the stuff started to circulate online. That was their way of getting rid of it. They just wanted everybody to get rid of their old books so that you couldn't look these things up for yourself. But as you can see, they keep doing it anyway because, again, they're devil worshippers. So, like, they can't stop. It's like they have to offer these things up to the real gods that they're serving. So even when they got rid of all their books, here it is, Caleb and Sophia 2024, and they're doing the same thing.
I'm
I
just
was just
shaking my head. Well, what was the reason they gave for destroying all the books?
I'm trying to think, what was it that they said? I think they just said that, like, because they're outdated or something like that. It was something stupid, like, because they're always revising things. It's been so long now I can't quite remember the reason, but something to do with, like, the books were old and outdated. And at one point I think they even said they wanted a library at Bethel or something. I don't know. And the thing that's interesting is I heard online that other congregations were told different things. So when it happened in my congregation, we were told that, like, bring all your books to the congregation because they're going to ship them to Bethel. And I think Bethel was going to do something with them. But then other people were saying that they had a dumpster at the Kingdom Hall and they just had everybody put them in a dumpster and they literally burned them.
Wow.
I mean, that sounds crazy, but so I think every congregation handled it differently as far as how they handle it. But in my congregation, they made it seem like FedEx was going to come and pick up the books. That's what they made it seem like.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but it's crazy. But the thing is like I was a witness when that happened, and I was just as brainwashed as everybody else. I thought it was kind of weird, but I didn't question it.
Right. Wow, what a crooked religion.
Well, I just want to thank you, Miss T, for coming on my channel. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your help that you actually taking the time to look at these Caleb's of videos and find stuff and put it out there. Because I don't want to dog out any other XJW channels, but I just have to be realistic when I say this, is that if we want these people to be exposed and get shut down, this is the stuff that has to be covered.
Yeah. You
Stuff
pretty much
like
have
this.
pretty much have to slap them in the face.
Yeah.
And if this doesn't slap them, I guess nothing will. I don't know,
Yeah.
Quinn. I'm sending this to my brother.
But all the stuff like, governing by the updates and the brother said this and like, it's interesting, but that's not going to get the organization shut down. Toni
Right.
Morrison, the liquor store, is not going to get the organization shut down. So what? He was in the liquor store. So who cares?
Right.
He was in there buying liquor. We already know witnesses can drink.
Right.
I mean, they have characters in liquor stores for a reason because people buy in bulk, especially rich people. Rich people, they're not at the package store every single day like an alcoholic. Like people who are rich, like Anthony Morris, like he's not going to go there every other day. People like that, they're good to use shopping carts. That's why they're in the liquor store to begin with. And it's interesting that so many XJW channels obsessed over him being in the liquor store, but who cares? The witnesses don't care. So
Right.
what? And I just want to say that in a sense of like this stuff, like this Machu Picchu and child sacrifices and things like that, and you're putting in a child, this is the kind of stuff that's really going to get them shut down. This is going to
Right.
get people to wake up. Not 20 Morris in a liquor store. Who cares that he was in a liquor store?
Right. And people don't just watch this video. Look Machu Picchu up your own self, and it describes how it's done. I believe they were frozen. They give them cocoa leaves, and they prepare them before they're put out. You know, I can't say the word on here, but before the sacrifice. And I believe that they freeze them. They let them freeze to death. I'm not positive, but I've read so many different articles, and things are different. They change and take out or add in. But look it up your own self, everybody.
Thank you again, and it was really an honor to have you on my show, and thank you for bringing that breakthrough discovery.
Okay, thank you for having me on, Quinn.